Hey Mama, I wanted to share something today with you that I recently learned that totally blew my mind. And I've been parenting for many, many years. I've raised 7 kids, and I did not know this. I mean, I knew that a child's environment had a great effect on them, but I had absolutely no idea until yesterday when I heard of this groundbreaking scientific study that I had never heard about before, but it totally changes everything. They actually did a study on children who lived in homes that were cluttered. And in these children, they actually did blood tests and they found elevated levels of the C reactive protein in their blood. And C reactive protein is a blood inflammatory marker. And it was determined that those elevated inflammation markers were there due to elevated stress from a cluttered home. What? Say what? I mean, oh my goodness, right? Like we all kind of know that clutter is not good to have around, but really that it can have that much of effect on our children, that it would have actually affect the blood inflammation markers. I already said blood. In their blood? I mean, that is crazy. Now, I don't want to add to anybody's mommy guilt level. Absolutely not. I just want this video to be an encouragement to you, that there is a huge benefit on cleaning up your home. So studies have shown that a child's home environment has a huge impact on their physical health, their emotional health, their cognitive health, as well as their behavior. Is that crazy or what? Now, some of this, like we as moms instinctually know, we can instinctually see, like in a cluttered environment, that the kids might just start acting up, right? Not behaving quite right and just can't cope, right? And we know that has something to do with it, right? But again, I really had no idea of all that clutter actually impacts in a child's life. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. And again, this is encouragement for you, that just think of how things could improve in your home and your child's life if you just clean up that clutter. Okay, first, let's talk about the physical impacts that clutter has on our children. It actually affects them physically, their health. So if you can just clean up your environment, it'll totally help with their health. Maybe your child like gets every virus that goes around, right? And you're like, well, what's the deal? Why does my kid keep getting sick, right? Well, maybe it's because of the increased levels of dust and mold and bacteria in your home. And those also can cause things like allergies and asthma. Also, the increased cortisol from living in this constant state of low-level stress will decrease your child's immune system. So if you want them to have a stronger immune system, clear out the clutter. Another way that clutter and an unclean home can affect your child's physical health is, say, leaving food out too long on the kitchen table or on the high chair tray, right? You leave it out and forget about it, so you'll get back to it later, but then you know what? Your child goes back and has seconds, hours later, right? And they may end up with food poisoning, right? That is no fun. And of course, we really don't want to talk about bugs and pests and rodents and all that stuff, do we? I don't think we even go there. We know that's not healthy. Another way clutter can affect our children is there just might be a lot of stuff laying around that they shouldn't get into, things that should not be in their reach, right? Maybe there's some knives on the kitchen table that they can reach, and it wouldn't be a good idea if they got a hold of that knife. Also, studies have shown that a cluttered home actually increases rates of obesity in children. So we know that is not good for your health in so many ways. So want healthier children? Clean up your home. Okay, as well as physical things that clutter can affect, it also can affect our child's emotional health. that sensory overload, when they're just overstimulated, right? There's just too much stuff around. They can't focus, they can't think, right? It can cause low level, ongoing levels of stress and anxiety, right? Because they're just overloaded, overstimulated, right? And you know how your kid gets when they're overstimulated, when they go somewhere and there's just too much activity, too much going on. Well, they can experience that at home too if it's not an orderly, structured environment. And that's where those elevated levels of inflammation, the C-reactive protein in their blood come into play. Also in this study, they found the association between clutter and stress with the elevated C-reactive protein levels were particularly evident in younger children. So a lot of times you think, oh, it's my child's just a baby or toddler, right? It won't affect them yet. Maybe I'll worry about this when they get older. But no, it affects the younger children the most. So again, this is encouragement for you, motivation for you to get things under control. And you absolutely can do it. I know you can. I absolutely have faith in you. Children really do crave, they crave structure, routine, predictability, and order. They don't feel safe. They don't feel safe when things are unpredictable, or they don't know what's going to happen in the day, right? This is where it's good to have a schedule with your kids. A cluttered home can also cause cognitive issues with your children, where there's just so much around, so much stimulation that they cannot focus. And focus is key for doing well academically. And then finally, clutter can affect behavior in our children. So when there's a disordered environment, they feel disorder inside, dysregulated. A structured environment, both in the clutter and in a routine schedule, can help greatly with our children's behavior. Oh, and here's another super interesting study that I just learned about today, and that was actually done on the mothers, right? Mothers who were tense or nervous in a cluttered home actually were more authoritarian in their parenting style. So if you're wanting to be more of a gentle, kind, loving, patient mother and not just authoritarian, do this or take the highway, right? You might want to consider the environment that's causing you to maybe lose your temper or yell or be super strict, right? Without any grace or patience or love, right? It affects us too. I also learned that the effects of a dirty house don't go away as children get older. Actually, they carry on. They carry on those issues throughout life with more depression, anxiety, stress levels. That's not good for anyone. So lest you think, who am I to judge? Let me tell you, I struggled with having a cluttered home for many years, and it's hard. It's hard, especially when your kids are young, you have toddlers or a new baby. It's hard to keep a clean home and organized. It's hard to stick to a schedule and have routine for the children. I get it is hard. I struggled a lot. But once I started getting it down, it just takes baby steps, really. It just takes baby steps, getting a simple routine, a household routine, putting things away as you use them, teaching kids that this is time for this is now time for that, right? This is playtime, this is math time, this is recess time. So they have that predictability and structure. They are so much happier and they do so much better in their schoolwork. So yeah, once I started getting my schedule under control, that really helped a lot. Just having that schedule so that there was time for picking up or there was time for certain things. It also helps just not to have so much stuff out and accessible to begin with. And I highly recommend my video, Ditch the Toys, right? Where it talks about rotating stuff, just packing up stuff and rotating it out. And so when you get it back, it's brand new and they're pretty excited and thrilled to see something back again, right? But if there's just not as much in the environment, in the home to begin with, that is able to be messed up, that totally helps a lot. So it really helped me when I started just packing up stuff. Also the routine, getting a routine done. Simple, basic routine, right? You don't have to have it down exactly to the minute, but just basic time blocks, a basic time block so that your children know what to expect and they feel safe. And when they feel safe, they are happy. So once you can get that environment cleaned up and their stress level physically starts going down, they are going to start being healthier and happier. So again, you can do this. I know you can. Baby steps. Let me know in the comments below, what is your biggest struggle with decluttering or keeping a routine for your kids? I'd love to know so I can be able to help you and give you some tips in later videos, but just let me know, yeah, what do you struggle with? Or better yet, what tips have you found that help you create a safe routine for your children and an uncluttered home? So I hope this gave you some encouragement today and some motivation, because things can absolutely get better. So if you got value out of this, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe, and please share it with somebody that you think it might help. Of course, you may lose a friend if they think you're pointing something out to them. So I don't know, maybe don't share. All right, till next time, guys. Bye.